again, Gabe.
Hi, Dad.
Hey.
Here we are, once again.
Talking about another movie. And this one I thoroughly enjoyed. Old-fashioned popcorn movie. Something you take the kids to or the grandparents. And it ties into a classic film from 40 years ago.
Which was?
Ghostbusters Afterlife.
I believe that everything happens for a reason. Come on, darling.
It has a gunner seat?
Jason Reitman's production. Well, he directed it. Ivan Reitman, his father, who produced the first one, produced this one also.
Awesome.
Yeah, well, I was very fortunate to see this. I went to a movie theater convention in Vegas in August, and we got to see certain films, very few, but we went to, it was Sony Pictures, and out on the stage, there's 1,300 of us in this big theater, and we were mostly theater managers and theater owners, so people like movies, and out walks Ivan Reitman. I knew who he was, and then the younger fella, his son, Jason. And Ivan talks about the original movie, you know, and a lot of history and nostalgia. And then Jason talks about the new movie and for a new generation to continue the storyline. And then they showed the movie. And at the end of the film, I think there was 1,300 people on their feet clapping, which is kind of rare, you know. And it's definitely a throwback. And it reminded me more of Goonies than it did the original Ghostbusters, except for towards the end.
Sure.
And of course, there's the tie-in of, you know, fighting ghosts and evil spirits that want to take over the earth, you know, kind of like the original.
Did you see the original in the theater in
I did.
1984?
Oh,
I was a year old, so I did not. But
well, I see most movies in the theater.
sure, but do you remember seeing that in the theater in 1984?
Of course, I do.
Okay.
And the sequel.
I seen it recently in the theater because my friend rented the Firehouse Theater, which you can do if you want to rent the main stage. And
Good
my
idea.
friend invited me, and I brought my family, and it was awesome seeing that in the theater with the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone reacting to it. You know, there's so much humor in Ghostbusters, and just the whole audience laughing. It's worth seeing with an audience.
Oh, of course. The group, bring the family, you know. And it's the same thing with this film.
Totally.
You know, and why I say Goonies, it's not through the eyes of these geeky ghost fighters, and it's not urban like the original two Ghostbusters movies. You know, they're in New York City.
It's the grandkids of Spangler. Or
yeah, one of the
Harold
the
Ramis's
geeky,
character.
right?
Yeah.
And now they're out in Colorado in a mining town where the mine's been shut down for years, but there's been shenanigans going on underground. And Paul Rudd is some kind of science teacher at the local high school.
I love Paul Rudd.
Yeah,
he's so fun.
But it's the kids who are now the Ghostbusters. Yeah. And fighting that, trying to capture them and deal with them with all the geeky equipment that the grandfather had, the Harold Ramis character. But there's a mystery about all that and the connection. And then some pretty famous faces start showing up later in the film, which really pumped it up for me.
I was smiling a lot when I saw those, you know, those
really
throwback and the people from the original. It was like, oh yeah, this is good.
And you know, I will look at other movie critic reviews.
Sure.
I often go to Rotten Tomatoes.
Me too.
Because there's multiple reviews, and I scan them over. And the reviewers were middle of the road. There were some that liked it, some didn't like it, but the audience reaction was 95%.
Yeah.
And when I saw it with that crowd of movie people, we were part of that 95% for sure. And I highly recommend this movie. I think that it's going to have sequels. There's going to be a whole new generation of films coming out of this. It's fast-paced, it's fun. You'll jump out of your seat, you'll laugh out loud, and then the adventure. I mean, it grabs you. You want to keep what's going on here.
Right.
What's next?
Well, I think, because I also read some of the reviews and on Rotten Tomatoes and stuff, and some of the critics, in a way, I kind of agree with some of those critiques about how the plot isn't really, too original or deep. Yeah, you're not like left with this, like, thinking about life and everything. It doesn't really hit you like that, but it's deeply entertaining. And the throwbacks, like if you are a fan of Ghostbusters, you have to see this movie. And yeah, the acting's good and it's entertaining. The CGI is good. There's cool cars chase scenes. Like, the ghosts are really fun. There's some moments that are scary. It's not like a huge, it's not going to win Academy Award or anything, but it's so entertaining.
Yeah, and I think it's endearing. It will last with you a little bit. You're going to want to see the sequel if you enjoyed the first one. And I would think most people going to this kind of popcorn movie aren't looking for a message from Western Union or anything. They want to just go with the flow, enjoy, forget about, their troubles, and enjoy a good movie. I mean, it's just like kind of old-fashioned movie storytelling.
I want to see it again.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I've seen it twice. Yeah, really like this movie.
And I think people will enjoy this one. I mean, the last Ghostbusters movie that came out with all the females, Kate McKinnon, and that one got a lot of bad reviews. A lot of people who like Ghostbusters really didn't care for that one. This one, if you like Ghostbusters, you'll like this one.
Absolutely. And want to see more. Yeah. Well, good job. I'm glad we both liked it.
Cool.
I expected you to like it,
Yeah. Worth seeing in the theater too, so.
Well, it's my recommendation, but that's always my recommendation. And we're going to have some thought-provoking film reviews coming up, so if you're into that, we can do that too.
Cool.
Yeah, all right.
Thanks.
Thank you.